Julie, we're on.
What?
Her, oh my God. That is the worst song ever.
Come on, it's so bad it's good.
Yeah, no, it's so bad for sure. Hi, welcome to Christmas Culture Club. I'm Steve.
I'm Julie, and we're going to talk about Christmas music today. The good, the bad, the ugly.
And that was definitely ugly.
Oh, come on. There's way worse out there, and we're going to talk about them. We're going to tell you why they're so bad and they're so good at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
I,
I don't know.
I've got a song when we get to the bad. I I listened to the first half and went, oh my goodness. It's so bad. And I think I've got some of the lyrics. I'll bring them out.
Yeah.
So if you're following us at all, which we appreciate, if you're not following us, why not follow us, please? Um, we script our episodes, and my dear friend Julie had surgery this past week, and she's been on medications. So what started as a simple script has turned into about a 4-hour episode.
A tome. Come
We
on.
we
Stop
promise
the drugs.
we won't get that far. But if it looks like we're reading, it is because we are in fact reading.
What,
So,
you didn't memorize dates of 336 AD when the first mass was held? Come on, what's wrong with you? So
all
I think
right.
we're both in Christmas spirit. I think it's full bore. I mean, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. And I mean, Christmas music, I heard it more than a month ago. It's been around really early this year is what I felt. It was before or before Halloween even.
Yeah.
So, when did all the radio stations here start playing?
So in Chicago, which are our local channels, the big one is 93.9 Light FM. And they transition on November 4th this year. I think it's usually that first week of November.
Yeah.
They transitioned to Christmas music exclusively from then until the first week of January. I don't think it's officially Epiphany, but it's sometime in the first week
Yeah.
of January they transitioned back.
I haven't listened yet. I haven't turned it on. So, uh,
But the other, I mean, it's everywhere. The Sirius FM, Sirius XM, Sirius XM.
yeah.
Um, they do 3 separate Christmas music channels. They transitioned on the 4th. They do a traditional, the Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, the old classic Christmas music. They do
Mm.
modern Christmas music. And then they also do country Christmas. So if you have Sirius XM, that'd be a good one to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have playlists on Spotify. I saw you had done some research that you can create your own personal channel on
Mhm.
Spotify. So I need to do that. And I mean, it's interesting for me. Like, I have 2 separate playlists. I have a rockin' Christmas playlist, and then I have a quiet one, and I feel like there's 2 different camps of Christmas music. And it's been interesting as I've been asking people in my world what their favorite Christmas song is. Most of the answers have been the very kind of somber, emotional songs like
Yeah,
"Oh Holy Night," "Ave Maria" was my mom's. So it's interesting because I haven't had somebody be like, "Oh, it's Santa Baby," or "Oh, it's Mariah Carey." So that surprised me, but it just tells you, Christmas cuts deep. Like, it sticks in your soul, and people, it is a happy time, but it's also a time of introspection. So,
sure.
kind of curious. But so all right, we've talked about the different types of Christmas music, but I think we're gonna do a quiz first
Yes.
because
Yes.
all right,
Because a lot of as I was researching to put together the quiz, a lot of the answers are in the body of what we're going to talk about. So,
sweet.
um, real quick, as you were talking about Christmas music, Christmas albums, I went to Spotify and I tried to put together a bad Christmas music channel, and it wouldn't recognize it.
Oh
Uh,
no.
no, so I don't know. Maybe they think all Christmas music is good, but if
I'm
you
gonna
want
have
to,
to put Ryan on this. He's great at messing with the algorithm. So, like,
oh
he's
yeah,
totally gonna make me. And he loves punk music, punk Christmas music, which not my
have you
jam.
ever listened to any of it?
Oh yeah,
There's some really great rock. I mean,
yeah,
I who was it? It was one of the acid rock bands did Jingle Bells, and it was like, whoa.
yeah, yeah.
There's also, have you ever heard of Bob and Tom?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, it was Bob is retired now, but the show still goes on. It's called the Bob and Tom Show. If you like morning radio, that's a great station. You can watch them on YouTube, listen to it. Anyway, they did a couple different Christmas albums of, just fun and crazy Christmas stuff. Some a little naughty, a lot of it kinda nice, but a lot of
Yeah,
it's fun. So if you
yeah.
ever get a chance to look on for some of that, it's really good stuff. But
All
all
right,
right,
let's talk quiz.
quiz, here we go. What is the best-selling Chris now I'm talking best-selling Christmas song of all
Jingle bells? I don't know. Like, uh,
famous crooner.
Bing Crosby, White Christmas.
Yep, Bing Crosby's White Christmas.
Okay.
It has sold since nine it was released in 1942. Since then, it's sold over 50 million copies
Wow.
worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and it's gotta be included in any list, right?
Sure.
Um,
It's a
so
classic. It's a classic for a
Mhm,
reason, you know?
yeah,
I mean, I think it's touched so many different generations. So, you know, now what's your next question? Because I think
because the next question is, what is the most downloaded Christmas song of
it's gotta be Mariah Carey. It's
Yep,
gotta be
absolutely.
All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yep,
And that surprised me that that came out in 1994. I actually thought it was more recent than that. So she has definitely
yeah.
had a good run with that. It is the most popular Christmas song currently, to my
Mhm.
understanding.
And
So,
she's maneuvered that whole thing. She's become the
yeah,
queen of Christmas. I mean, it's a big thing for her now. It
yeah.
has sold, since its release, it has been downloaded, 16 million. It says 60 million copies have been sold globally, so I'm assuming that's because you can put it on Spotify.
Mhm.
I don't know how they calculate that, but as far as purchasing it on downloads, 16 million copies. Can you name the just offhand what are ranked as the top 5 Christmas songs, most listened to top 5 Christmas songs?
Well, we covered 2, so it's gonna be All I Want for Christmas and,
Mhm.
White Christmas. I mean, I think Jingle Bells is one of those, like, classic epitome songs.
But not just Jingle Bells.
Oh, Mean Girls, Jingle Bell Rock.
Mhm.
There you go.
Jingle Bell that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, what else?
Um, Home Alone, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Yep.
Have you been whammed? Is it Last
Wham!
Christmas?
Last Christmas. That's
Nice.
the 5th, yep. Yeah,
Very
and Jingle Bell Rock is actually the original version by Bobby Helms, which was
okay.
66, something like that, 66,
Wow.
67.
Yeah. I love it.
Um, most downloaded songs, All I Want for Christmas.
Yeah.
Any idea what and of
Last
course,
Christmas,
Last
Wham!
Christmas.
Oof. I don't know. This probably gets into more modern stuff because it's the downloaded.
Mhm.
So you tell me.
Um, Do They Know It's Christmas? It was Band Aid that they did a couple
Oh,
decades ago,
wow.
and that will
Okay.
appear again on a list later. Um Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. I Justin Bieber is now considered an old performer, right? He's 35 or 36, so the kids aren't listening to
Better
him.
not tell him that. His mental health seems a little sketchy, so be
Yeah.
kind to him. So,
And then, Santa Tell Me by, Ariana Grande,
oh, I don't
which
know that one at
again,
all.
I don't know that one, but I know she is a magnificent singer.
Mhm.
Uh, Wicked Part
Yeah.
2 has come out just recently, and it's crushing it at the theater.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Well,
Alright,
let's get into my realm. Let's talk about the history of Christmas music.
alright.
Like where did all this start? Because it goes way back. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
so 1700 years ago. It's a crazy number when you think about it, but this goes back to what we had talked about in our second episode where we talk about the history of Christmas. And there was a big fight about when Christmas actually was. It wasn't really a focus of the early Catholic Church. And so in 336 was the first year that they settled on December 25th as the birth of Jesus and the Feast of the Nativity. So it was at that time that the first monks created a song. And
All I
I have
Want
a
for
little
Christmas by Mariah Carey.
nice, not quite. So the first song that's credited as being a Christmas song about essentially the birth of Jesus is Jesus Refulsit Omnium. And I apologize to my mother-in-law, who is a Latin teacher. I might have just butchered that, but that
Real
translates.
Totala.
Yeah, translates to Jesus, light of all nations. So kind of interesting that that was in 4th century. So now you move forward and look at
Written by
something
a nun. incidentally.
Yes. Yes, there you
Mhm.
go. But it's all chants. There were no instruments. This was done by nuns, by monks during mass, and it was more of what we could call Gregorian chants now. And, as you move through the eras, you get more instruments being added. It really was St. Francis of Assisi in, let's see,
My favorite saint.
1223. He actually created the first nativity play, and he
Huh.
was the one who essentially translated it out of the church sphere down into more of the secular sphere. So these performances, these nativity plays that he wrote were fun, were simple, and the big thing was they were written in local languages. It wasn't written in Latin. So it meant that it was approachable by the populace, and so people could sing along. This was kind of that moment where Christmas carols actually became a thing, that you had interaction amongst community. So then you keep on moving through, like, you've got 12th century Parisian monk added Christmas lyrics to popular songs at the time, and that's where they started using the word carol, and carol meant that it was accompanied by a ring dance. So I am down with knee surgery right now, so there is no caroling in the historical sense for me. But caroling became a really big feature of the season. And, I think here in America, it's not as much, but in Britain, still it does. You don't see people go door to door anymore here. But the wassailing was what it was called in England. And this was very common, 1400s, 1500s, like
Madrigals.
England.
Madrigals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they would walk around and you would sing as a group. Mostly they'd be somewhat bawdy songs. They'd be fun. The people would be slightly toasted, or a lot toasted. And the goal is to go to houses that are going to reward you with the best things, whether it be spirits like that you would get a drink, you would get plum pudding, you might get a coin if you're lucky. So it was considered, kind of a topsy turvy thing that if you were wealthy, you had to welcome carolers and give them treats.
Well, and we talked about when we did our creepy Christmas episode a few weeks ago,
Mhm.
we were talking about some of that, how, some of the traditions were if you weren't, they would have these, these tournaments or not tournaments, these contests, and that if you didn't let them win and invite them into your house,
Yeah.
you would be cursed with bad luck for the following year. So
Mhm.
yeah, a big thing.
So, I mean, this transition, like 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, and then we carried on into kind of what becomes a more modern appearance to us, which is the Victorian era. A lot of our Christmas traditions, as we keep referencing Christmas Carol, like Dickens. But 18th and 19th century, like Silent Night was written in 1818, O Come All Ye Faithful was 1841, Good King Wenceslas, 1853.
Have you ever heard the story of that song?
No, tell me.
We think it's this beautiful song.
Yeah.
It doesn't end up well for good King Wenceslas. He
Uh-oh.
basically, he's butchered.
Shoot, okay.
So, I don't know. I mean, and historically, he does. I don't think the song is supposed to be a reflection of that, but it's like, "Oh, because I like good King," I'm like, "Yeah, I love this song." And then I was reading about it, and went, "Oh my oh, wow."
Apparently, we should have concluded or included it in the creepy Christmas
Yeah,
episode,
I wish
so
we had. Anyway, I'm sorry.
yeah. No, no, you're fine. I love it, but, like, the Victorians really were the bridge to, like, what we do currently, and again, like, I lived in England, I lived in New Zealand. Caroling is a thing. I mean, it just makes me think of the movie Love Actually, which is one of my favorite Christmas movies, and, the scene where she's got the cards and, the carolers, and you're supposed to hand stuff to them. I don't see that often, but I did have an amazing moment, here at our house. We decorate very heavily outside. And we had moved out of the house for an addition for a year. So we missed a Christmas that we didn't put up decorations. We came back the first year that we were here. We worked all day to hang up the sleigh, and like both of us had just collapsed on the couch, just exhausted. We
Mm.
have a ring doorbell, and the doorbell rang, and both of us were like, oh God, we can't get up. And Brian looks on his phone, and it was some of our neighbors. It's a big Irish Catholic family that has like 30 grandkids. They had come over, they pressed our ring doorbell, and they started singing for us.
Oh.
and they just said, "Thank you so much for putting the sleigh up." So it was just one of those moments that really,
Yeah.
really cemented my love of my community and, our approval of putting up a boatload of Christmas decorations.
And I think that's part of why you don't see it as much anymore is we have insulated. We
Yeah.
don't really, have neighborhoods where you know all your neighbors and all that.
Mhm.
When I was, so I have a theater background. I've been doing theater for, well, years, and when I was younger in my 20s, was very, very active in theater. For several years, we there were anywhere from 15 to 20, 25 of us. So we'd get together, we'd practice once or twice to make sure we had harmonies, and we went out caroling. But we
Mhm.
went out in our neighborhoods, and it was amazing. Like a year or two after, I ran into somebody and went, "Why aren't you?" After we stopped doing it, why aren't
Mhm.
you doing it anymore? It's like, well, we're all starting families now and
Yeah.
getting
I
together to
would
do it.
love that. Like, my
Yeah.
neighborhood is ripe for that because, I mean, we do all know each other. So I'm actually in the process of organizing a cookie walk,
Oh, cool.
for, the week before Christmas, the way that the school calendar hits this year. And just, going to houses that are overly decorated, like have each house have cookies out, and it's just people I know in the neighborhood that I'm like, hey, let's do this organically. Let's just do a walk, go check
Mhm.
out Christmas decorations, walk with hot cocoa. So I'm super excited to have it happen this year. So, but back to
Sure.
the Christmas music.
Yes.
So Victorian era, okay, cool. Like we start to see, carols, a lot of the songs that we consider classics. That's where they establish. But then we vault into the US and the 1930s, and it's really when radios became a
Mhm.
staple in every house. You think about it, we take for granted the fact that we have easy access to music all around us. But radio is really what brought more modern Christmas music into it and also film. Hollywood played a huge part in it. I mean, White Christmas, where did it come from? It was written for the movie, I believe. I mean, am I
Riverline.
yeah. So, that's the 40s, 30s, and 40s. And then you just start to see it. So, Bing Crosby, 1942, or Drop the Mic, Know the Snow Globe, with White Christmas and Everything Changed. Best selling single of all time that we talked about and launched the golden age of Christmas music. 40s and 50s gave us Rudolph, Silver Bells, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. 1934, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. 1942, Bing Crosby. So it's just really cool to see like when some of the standards are created. Some of them are a couple hundred years old, some of them are, 100 years old, some of them are two, So
Right, right.
yeah. So I mean, what are your favorites? Like what's your era? What do you love?
You know what? I love all the classics, but there's some really, really beautiful Mary Did You Know, I think is
Mhm.
a fairly recent one, and I've heard 3 or 4 versions of that just I hear them and I get choked up um, uh, and I like the fun ones. I actually like and it's not a happy Christmas song, but I like Wham! It's one of those is like,
Yeah,
"Get
you
yours,"
just yeah,
one of
you
those
can't
things.
help but dancing along. So,
Yeah, so, um, I weirdly enough, so Madonna, Santa Baby,
mhm.
was originally done by Eartha Kitt, who
Oh, okay.
if you know who Eartha Kitt was, she had these she's not American, I don't think, I think she's South American, and she had this, like, little kinda squeaky voice. She played the original Catwoman on the Batman TV series, and she was perfect, I mean, she was great, but she released it originally, I think in the early mid-60s. Her version is classic. I love her version. Madonna's version, and we'll talk about that again a little bit later.
Well, every Christmas of my childhood, my parents would wake us up to Santa Baby, Madonna's Santa Baby, blasting through the stereo system downstairs on the first floor. And it was like our hook to know, okay, you can come down now.
Nice.
So I mean, and that my brother now does it with his kids,
Also,
so it's like this is the thing, like Christmas music is that thread that carries you through. But I mean, I clearly remember when I was like in my early 20s and, my dad's listening to like his crappy Christmas music and I'm like, I want modern stuff. Yeah,
and
So us
now you're
fighting.
listening to your dad's crappy music stuff with yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Well,
So
it's beautiful music, and there is
yeah.
some fun. I wanna do so on Christmas, we'll host the family, and I want to have acid rock Christmas music on when they come through to the front door, just blasting.
You're gonna have to
Gonna
put
be a
up some
different
of your
Christmas this year,
acid rock playlist. I mean, Ryan, when he was reading through this episode, he's like, "You don't have any of my punk Christmas on here." So,
right?
you know, yeah. So, I mean, what are the top songs? Like, what
All
are the
right.
top? So,
So we talked about the top songs, right?
yeah.
Um,
Oh, like
but
most sold, most
the top
downloaded, but
traditional songs, so the top 10 traditional songs, not necessarily best selling, but the ones that people listen to every year.
mhm,
Traditional songs, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee.
love it.
Um, Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Heard it at
Rudolph.
every child's play ever.
Yeah. Yeah, really. You go to any elementary school winter pageant now, because a lot of
Yeah,
them they can't call Christmas pageant. Anyway, that'll be one. Rudolph, of course, Jingle Bells, Joy to the World,
awesome.
Hark the Herald Angels Sing,
Mhm,
Deck the Halls, Oh Christmas Tree,
mhm,
Little Drummer Boy, and Silent Night. So there's a real good mix of spiritual, religious
mhm.
based music and contemporary secular music.
Yeah.
So
Well, you wanna talk about the bad, the ugly,
yeah, let's
the
start.
good stuff?
Let's talk about the good stuff, the bad stuff.
Yeah.
So I think I think the bad stuff is based on the premise that everybody likes to see a good train wreck, that sort of thing. That we're drawn to it. You
Yes.
can't avert your eyes. So you hear bad music, and there's a part that goes, "Oh, really?" And you listen to it. Of course, I think the classic bad one is just what you started with. Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Yeah.
Um, and it's fun, it's frivolous, the concept is god awful, um, and I think I I my the premise is, did she die? But the video, if you watch the video,
Oh, I've
she's not.
never watched the video.
It's an animated. There are a couple different versions. There's an animated version, and there's one of a kid going, "What, grandma?" So, um,
But I mean, what I love about it is, I am a terrible singer. I have 0 voice. Like, I ruin Happy Birthday. I mean, legit.
mhm,
But, there's something about bad music being accepted culturally that I can sing along to. There's no judgment. You're poking fun at it. And, Christmas, there's such pressure to be perfect. Perfect presents, perfect gifts, perfect table, holiday table. And then comes the bad Christmas music. And it just kind of blows a hole in that perfection and makes everybody laugh. And, I mean, my brother and I torture my mom with Santa Lost a Hoe. It's by a bluegrass band that's hilarious that they put out like a God, what's the name of the band? I'll have to the something junk band. But they put out a funky bluegrass song every year, and it's always like a holiday play. But Santa Lost a Hoe is a great one. I mean, it's also like situationally bad that you've got a song that might be a classic. It could be a bad version of a classic. And, Great Aunt Helen is completely blitzed on 5 martinis and she wants you to play it over and over and over and over and over again. So suddenly that classic turns into just like torture, but it's a shared
right.
memory, it's something that kind of gets built into the fabric of your Christmas. So,
Yeah,
uh
you're listening to grandma, what was it? Grandma, Santa Lost a Hoe. Your grandma or your great aunt Helen gets all teary-eyed. "Oh, it was your great uncle Harry's favorite song."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, the chipmunks, like, it's not Christmas until I hear the friggin' chipmunks, like, squeaking their way through any of their song.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Heat Miser, my husband hates Heat Miser, I love it, I think it's hilarious, I think part of why I love it is because it tortures him, so,
Mhm.
like, I play it every year, I mean, come
Sure.
on, so, it's just always fun. So,
Well,
what are some
l
of the big ones? What are some of
so
the bad ones?
I want to read you, um, it is I think it's probably one of the worst songs, Christmas songs that I've ever, 'cause I read the lyrics, I listened to them, I read the lyrics and went, "Oh my goodness." by a famous singer. John Denver wrote a song called "Daddy, Please Don't Get Drunk This Christmas."
Oh my god.
It's a solemn song, and it's literally about a boy pleading with his daddy not to get drunk at Christmas, and I'm like, oh,
Doesn't really
yeah,
channel the spirit of the season that you're looking for, but,
yeah,
I hate to say it, it's probably a real thing someplace, but
yeah.
the
Oh,
fact that John Denver produced a song about it. Alright, so
mhm.
it's are
And
you gonna read us the lyrics?
and we don't want to make light of
Yeah.
of those things. I mean, we have an upcoming episode about surviving Christmas, and but you don't not making light of it and putting something out that it's like, oh,
Cringeworthy.
another one that is it's terrible because it's just so schlocky. It's a song called "The Christmas Shoes"
Oh god.
by a group called New Song, and I actually want to read part of the lyrics to you about this. Standing right in front of me, now this is a song, was a little boy waiting anxiously, pacing round like little boys do, and in his hands he held a pair of shoes. And his clothes were worn and old, he was dirty from head to toe. And when it came his time to pay, I couldn't believe what I heard him say. Sir, I want to buy these shoes for my mama, please. It's Christmas Eve and these shoes are just her size. Could you hurry, sir? Daddy says there's not much time. You see, she's been sick for quite a while, and I know these shoes would make her smile, and I want her to look beautiful if she meets Jesus tonight.
Wow. Okay then. Shoot. Alright.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's yeah.
oh,
But I mean,
it's
can it's lyrics, but also it's like the music that goes along with some of these, that you've just got
well, I
harmonicas, kazoos, ukuleles, that make it cringeworthy too.
well, that song, it's a particularly slow, but the thing is, I don't think it was written to facilitate helping people to get through their grief. I think it
Mhm.
was written to make money. And I anyway, okay. That's the second one. Needless to say, that will not be maybe that should be what my family comes through
I
the
don't know. I
door
mean,
on
I
Christmas
feel
Eve.
like everybody thinks of like the hippopotamus song, Dominic
Yes.
the donkey, that you're like, wait, this is a Christmas song? Like, where did this come from?
Well, in Dominic the Donkey, which is it's a bad song, but I love it. I as soon as I hear it come on our Christmas playlist, I'm Dominic, yeah, I love it. Hippopotamus is my mother-in-law's favorite song,
Hmm.
but they are absolutely on the worst list.
Yeah.
Um,
But why?
No,
Is it
Domino's
the
because it's Italian. In
is it
Italy,
the
Dominic the donkey is the donkey that Mary and Jesus rode
mhm.
into Bethlehem. Or that
Yeah,
yeah,
but I mean,
Bethlehem.
I'm curious, like, what puts it on the worst song? Like, is it the quirky music?
I
Is
think so.
it, like, is it an earworm? Is that what it
Well, it
is,
is.
Uh,
It's Dominic
yeah,
the donkey, you just
yeah, yeah. The hippopotamus, I mean, I got a friend of mine a hippopotamus years ago, stuffed hippopotamus for
mhm.
Christmas. It's his favorite song, at the time. So I was like, "Here you go,
On
I'm being a
Amazon, you'll see a
smartass."
bunch of them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, grandma got run over by a reindeer, totally. So, oh,
One of the
oh,
ones that's on the list that, it's a serious song is Paul McCartney's "Wonderful Christmas
mhm.
Time," and that's been criticized because it's so repetitive and it's so synthesized.
Yes.
It's like it's typical bad '80s era music.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um, Santa
yeah.
Baby, again, Santa Baby, because it's criticized for being too suggestive,
Yeah.
it promotes a transactional relationship with Santa.
Wait,
Um,
what's the song from Elf, that she sings in the shower, that's like oh, geez, it became really famous, like, it had kinda
yeah,
died off, and I can't think of it right now, but, like, that's another one where,
mhm.
now in kind of a modern era, you look
Baby,
back
it's
at the
cold outside.
lyrics. Yes, thank you, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Wait, what's being suggested here?" So,
Well,
it crosses the
it
line a
it
little bit.
it's funny because that was in a movie. I don't think it was White Christmas, but it was Bing Crosby and Danny no, Bing Crosby and Red Skelton were in this film.
Okay.
And it takes place and it's the two guys are they're coupling up with 2 girls, I think the girls are sisters, and in the one side, Bing Crosby's singing to her, "Come on, baby, it's cold outside, don't go,"
Mm,
that, and on the other side, it's the girls singing to Red Skelton, "Don't go," it's
yeah,
cold outside, he's like, "I gotta go."
yeah.
In fact, we did a Shannon and I were, in a Christmas concert a couple years ago. I do sing. You can't hear it right now, but I do sing. And we did that as a couple, and we reversed it. We did a role
Mm,
reversal where I was trying to get out. So it's very funny because it's like my mama won't. It's
yeah,
a fun song, but it is
yeah.
it is considered one of them. I've not heard of the one. Have you ever heard of "Funky Funky Christmas" by New Kids on the Block?
No, which that was my era, and,
Yeah,
I don't know if it's, like, a modern like, did they do it later, or was it out then? But
I don't know. Shannon hasn't heard. Shannon's a big New Kids person. She hasn't heard of it either. So
interesting. Well, and
anyway,
also, like, I love, like, Run DMC. I mean, I collected a very special Christmas albums for years, and those are still some of my favorite Christmas songs, where
yeah.
I think they still put them out, if I'm not mistaken, that they're still producing a very special Christmas each year, and,
Oh,
um
nice.
the proceeds go to Special Olympics, but it's usually, like, modern artists doing either their own creations, but the Run DMC one, where
Cool.
it's, Christmas in Hollis, like, I
Mhm.
absolutely love that. And what about the Waitress song? Like, or, oh, geez, is it the Pogues that sing I Don't Wanna Fight on Christmas? That's another one that's, like, on
Oh,
lot of
don't
lists.
know.
That one's really great.
Hmm.
But it's just fascinating, like, what's good to one is bad to another and vice versa. There's just the list could go on, but, I mean, it just holds such a, like, sentimental part in our heart,
Sure.
almost I mean, for me, the bad songs almost create more Christmas memories than the good songs. I don't
Yeah.
know. What are your
Well,
personal favorites? What do you love?
um, well, Mary Did You Know, I think is my absolute. It's very sentimental, but it's beautiful, and if you get a good group that's doing it. Um, there was I don't remember his name. I've got him on my playlist, but he was on one of those talent shows.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh,
kind of a
J
heavy-set guy, but,
oh,
the
'cause I was
voice
gonna
I think
say Josh Groban was
Josh
one of the
Groban's one of those
people
ones.
that came out of, like, the talent shows that just has a phenomenal.
Pentatonics does a really
Yeah.
beautiful version of it.
Yeah.
I think White Christmas,
Mhm.
will always be one of my favorite. But I also well, you know, our opening and closing number, "Deck the Halls" is my one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
So, yours?
Um, I love we talked about this before, I love Choir of the Bells.
Mhm.
That's a really, classic one that I just love the different interpretations of. Have Yourself a Merry Christmas. Chris
Yeah,
Martin's version to me is just honestly, it's just his voice and a piano, and it's phenomenal. I love, Tom Petty's got a bunch of Christmas songs that I love that, make
really?
me laugh. Yeah, and I mean, he's got that playful twang that I really enjoy. Personally, so my husband and I love JD McPherson, who is a rockabilly artist, and he
Mhm.
put out a Christmas album called Socks, Socks, and it's all original Christmas music, and it's phenomenal. Like, it
Oh,
is
wow.
absolutely a blast. So we're actually seeing him in Chicago in a couple weeks. But he's great. He's just got some really fun ones that, talk about childhood. And, the name of the album pertains to him getting socks for Christmas and how he doesn't want them, and that's one of the songs. But just super fun, just to hear some new songs being interjected there. But I do love like pentatonics and, some of
What
the acapella.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
We went
They're
last year and
Carol
man,
Ballads.
that was, that was insane. I have never seen an experience like that before in my life. My dad, my husband, and I went on, I think it was Christmas Eve last year. It was his birthday, actually. It was December 23rd, and it was
Okay.
mind blowing.
Yeah,
That
I
was
heard it can
insane.
be you can really experience sensory overload
Well,
because of the
and
way it comes at you.
yeah, and I mean, there were people there that have gone for 20 years. I mean, this is their
Mhm.
Christmas tradition and they love it. It was a little over the top for me. The amount of pyrotechnics used in a small stadium was a lot. Let's just put it
Right.
that way. But the
Well,
music was fun. You felt it.
mhm. We
Yeah.
were talking at one point about, wanting to go, maybe taking my in-laws or, my
Mhm.
boys or something like that, and I looked up the ticket prices and, oh,
Yeah,
like
it's
$250 for just decent seats. I went,
yeah.
I don't know."
Yeah, we bought them
Um,
kinda last minute last year and, it was not quite that much. I think, prices had dropped a little bit,
okay.
but it was intense. It was a lot. So I don't know, but, I've also seen there's an artist by the name of Andrew Bird who he does a residency here in Chicago, and he plays in, I believe it's the First Presbyterian Church that's on Michigan Avenue, and the church is
Okay.
candlelit. He plays organ, and it's beautiful, but, like, I've always wanted to go to midnight mass. I am an early, early morning person that wakes up early, and I can never make it to stay up for midnight mass, but, my dad and my uncles talk about the tradition, like, within Polish, um, Christmas Eve is the bigger day, like, the more important
Mhm.
day, and Christmas Eve mass, midnight mass is really important, so they talk about just their childhood of going to midnight mass. And I think that's something that is missing a little bit from, our current cultural experience for music. Is you don't have as much exposure. I mean, at least I don't have as much exposure to, the church music, the
Mhm.
choirs from churches and, I kind of I appreciate that. I would love to actually see some of that sometime. I mean, I was just looking at buying tickets to an Irish Christmas, at Old
Oh,
Town School of
wow.
Folk
That'd be
Music.
fun.
Yeah, and it's like the bodhrán and, playing all the instruments. So, I don't know. I think I kinda wanna go and experience it. It would be cool. So,
Sure.
but
Yeah, I for decades, because I am Catholic, for decades, I would go to midnight mass, and then, um but with my sons, when they were born, I shouldn't say for decades, maybe for 15 or 20 years, but, when they were born and they got old enough, we would start taking them to the children's mass on Christmas Eve,
mhm,
where there'd be a really cool processional and beautiful music. But yeah, I think, um it can be a very, depending on the church and all, it can be a really solemn but beautiful opportunity for, not only, going through the process of the coming of Christ on
mhm.
Christmas, but also the music that goes along with it. So anyway, so what's
Yeah.
new?
Well, I think everybody's, again, Thanksgiving is tomorrow, so hopefully your turkey is thawed and you're ready to put it in the oven. But this weekend is really opens the gates. So Black Friday is on Fridays, so everybody's going to be out shopping. I personally haven't seen a ton of anything that's really standout deals. I mean, sure, if you want a TV and stuff like that, but nothing has really tempted me on Black Friday. I really think that we're probably gonna see deals closer to Christmas as people look at inventory and say, "Oh, hey, I'm long on this item." One thing I am shopping on Black Friday is travel deals. I have a
Mm,
couple trips planned, and I was just reading an article the other day about, how travel has dropped off significantly at the end of 2025. So a lot of brands are actually looking to spur people to book. So there's some
oh,
pretty
wow.
good deals to be had on like resort packages, hotels. So, if you've got some travel plans, go ahead and shop for that. And it's not, each day now has its day. So you've got Black Friday, you've got Small Business Saturday, you've got Giving Sunday, I think it is, and
Uh,
then Cyber
Mother's
Monday, and then
Day.
Travel Tuesday. All bets are off, man. Travel deals are live right now, so I'm gonna continue to watch them, but Cyber
Do they have
Monday
up
typically is gonna outperform Black Friday, so
do they have an I need a nap Wednesday?
I think that's like, I need a nap Thursday night post turkey with the tryptophan or
Sure.
whatever, so,
Are you guys
um
doing a turkey?
oh, yeah, yeah, we've got 3,
Yeah.
that we're doing. One is being smoked and 2 are being baked,
Oh,
so
we it we're doing a soft Thanksgiving this year, just my in-laws. My sons and their mom are doing something else this Thanksgiving, but none of us really like turkey.
okay.
So we're gonna do a filet.
Okay. I have friends in New York that it's interesting because the the two of them, the one person does not like turkey, the other person is from Poland and just doesn't get it.
Right.
He loves the concept of Thanksgiving and loves welcoming everyone to the table, and it's a tradition that he's very much embraced, but they do pork. They do a big roast pork, and it's
Oh,
funny because
yeah.
depending on who attends, sometimes somebody will bring a turkey because it is their thing, and for me,
Their
like,
thing.
turkey is part of it. I mean, my family has always hosted, like, the bigger holiday Thanksgiving for, going back 20 years, and I've now taken it on. So, I mean, I love turkey, I love stuffing, like, I love the weird thing my family does is white rice. That is part of our Thanksgiving tradition. I love nothing more than turkey gravy on white rice. That is my
Wow.
breakfast
I'm
on
gonna try it.
Friday. Yeah,
Hmm.
so super good, but my mom makes the best gravy ever, and, she can't explain how she does it. She has taught me, so I am a fantastic gravy maker, but it's
Mm.
just good, I when I lived in New Zealand, I actually did a traditional Thanksgiving dinner down there because I had a lot of questions from both Kiwis, and I was living with some Germans at the time. And I was like, well, I'm just going to do this. And so I hosted a Thanksgiving dinner and did all the proper sides. And, they have in New Zealand, they have their own sweet potatoes. So I used
Mhm.
those to make like a sweet potato casserole and kind of put a bit of a Kiwi spin on it. But, it's just interesting how you just, again, like part of why this podcast became what it is just the question that I had of, we do this, what do other places do?
Right.
And that ties into like our next episode is actually going to be Christmas around the world, where we're going to talk to a
Yeah.
couple people from different countries and talk about what their Christmas traditions are, like how Christmas looks differently for them. So it's pretty
Mhm.
exciting. I'm stoked to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be fun, so
Yeah, time zones are
well,
challenging.
what's that?
Time zones are challenging to get everybody in one place at the one time where somebody should be awake and somebody should not be asleep. So
Yeah, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
yeah,
And we'll be hungover, from a food coma from all the Thanksgiving. I'm like, "Oh, hi, how are you?"
100%.
Right.
Nice. Well, I'm ready to go
Well,
put on some bad Christmas music. What about you?
on that note,
We're Christmas
all
Culture
right.
Club. Thanks for hanging out
Yeah,
with us today.
thanks. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Yep.